to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on the major. Everybody wants to grow up. It's my own design. It's my own reward. Help me to decide. Oh, help me make the most of freedom and love. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to grow the world.
After watching my mother lose partial vision and wishing that we had been able to diagnose her glaucoma earlier in life, I was inspired to get involved. I'm committed to work on behalf of vision health and to diagnose eye disease early in life, allowing those in need to preserve best possible vision. The circle of care begins here, going that extra mile to provide eye care for all.
I volunteer for Prevent Blindness Georgia to help those in need. At a community vision project, I once noticed that so many of the children showed up in taxis or Ubers to the clinic. Some parents don't have cars or driver's license. Whatever that ride costs, those families may have to choose between sending their children to our eye clinic or spending that money on groceries. Those families need us to do even more. I'm honored to help eliminate barriers for children so they get the eye care that they need.
For over 20 years, through my auto refractor camera, I've seen children who had very poor vision. I knew that they would be struggling in school, struggling to see. I wanted us to do more. As a vision screener, I am now able to make sure that their story doesn't end here, and they will be able to see and do their best.
When I volunteered in Hall County, thanks to Prevent Blindness, I was able to ensure treatment for children with significant undiagnosed vision problems. There were 2 children under the age of 8 who had glaucoma. These children needed surgery in order to prevent losing of vision. Without Prevent Blindness, these children would undoubtedly have gone blind. And thanks to Prevent Blindness, these children will thrive with full vision.
Having been a patient of vision care, I can tell you how impactful, even life-changing Pbga can be. Getting the excellent care I needed enabled me to continue my work of healing and caring for patients. This keeps the circle of care turning.
Good evening. I think you can do better than that. Good evening. I am so excited to be here with you tonight. My name is Ricky Klaus, and I am a producer and newscaster of All Things Considered at Georgia Public Broadcasting, and I also host a daily show on CBS 46. I'm really stoked to be here this evening where the story here is all things vision. Like many of you over the last few months, I visited the Van Gogh exhibit, the Van Gogh, the immersive experience. How many of you have been to that? It was really cool, right? So one of the interesting things I learned from that exhibit was many people now believe that Vincent van Gogh was actually colorblind. And some experts believe that's the reason he painted in such extraordinary, vivid colors that really were uncharacteristic for his time, and that he just wasn't able to see all colors, and that's how his paintings came out the way they did. So apparently the argument goes, his limited range of vision resulted in his portraying the world he painted in these striking hues that are so memorable even to this day. And if you look at his paintings through the filter of what they would look like if a person has color blindness, the colors kind of make more sense, and they're less striking, and they're less exceptional. So what we know, what all of you in this room this evening knows, is that vision matters, right? What we see makes a difference in how we perceive the world and how we interact with it. Today, we also know that about 80% of what a child learns, this child learns through his or her vision. So if you think of your own kids, 80% of what they're learning is through their vision. Being able to see and identifying and correcting vision problems early is really, really important. So most of you are here this evening because, yeah, you already know this. You already know that, as Helen Keller once said, of all the senses, sight must be the most delightful. So I thank you for being here this evening to support the very important work of Prevent Blindness Georgia. When I heard about what the organization does, I was just floored. I didn't know that people were doing this super important work. And my uncle is a child at the time who had to have surgery and had to have the correction done so that he wouldn't go blind. So it really, really jived with me. There are a few people we really want to thank this evening, and those are our sponsors. First and foremost, we'd like to thank our presenting sponsor this evening, and that's iSouth Partners. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much to Rex, to Scott, to Paul, and all of you from iSouth for being the presenting sponsor here this evening. Thank you so much. Next, we'd like to thank our visionary sponsor. That sponsor makes it possible for us to celebrate a person of vision. Tonight's visionary sponsor is National Vision. We have a video for you to watch, so I will step away for a moment.
Good evening. My name is Rex Adams, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of iSouth. And iSouth is extremely honored and privileged to be the presenting sponsor for tonight's Prevent Blindness Gala. More importantly, iSouth is really excited to congratulate Dr. Michael Jacobson on this well-deserved award. iSouth has worked with Michael Jacobson and Georgia Retina for many years now, and we are very, very pleased to see such a fantastic doctor and a wonderful human being earn this award. iSouth is a management service organization that supports over 200 doctors with over 2,000 employees in 8 states and over 100 locations. Our mission is to support eye doctors to provide the highest quality of medical and surgical care. Quite frankly, our mission is very similar to the mission of Prevent Blindness, which is to prevent blindness and preserve sight. And consequently, iSouth this evening is very, very honored to be the presenting sponsor. And again, we'd like to thank everybody who's made an effort to attend tonight's event. And again, thank you for supporting Prevent Blindness in Georgia. Have a great evening.
And Rex, if you wouldn't mind standing up so that you can be recognized. There he is. Thank you, Rex. Okay, and our visionary sponsor, that is National Vision, as I mentioned before. And our dinner and beverage sponsors this evening are Thomas Eye Group and Nanita Brown, MD, PhD. Our VIP reception sponsor this evening is Protivity. And joining Protivity at the $7,500 sponsor level and making this evening's photo booth possible is United Healthcare. Our insightful table sponsors this evening are Alamera Sciences, Scott and Andrea Bullock, Northside Hospital, Dr. Will Humphreys, Dr. Michael and Kirsten Jacobson, Mark and Amy Kistelenik, and Amanda and Ben Seals. Thank you so much. Our eye-catching sponsors are Aprio, Clearwave, DM Poly LLC, Dunn Laboratories, Emory Eye Center, Kearney Street Management, Jeannie Perrine, OD and Terrence Neal, Reed Smite LLP, United Community Bank, USI Insurance Services, and Verizon Wireless. We are also grateful for our patron sponsors, iPoint Pharmaceuticals, Face Down Chairs, Tom and Sandy Gay, Georgia's Society of Ophthalmology, Nancy Kwan, Sun Ophthalmics, Van Whipple Milligan PC, Mike and Nancy Vlass, and Mary and Charles Yates. And finally, we appreciate our duo sponsors this evening. They are Michael and Beatrice McConnell, North Fulton Eye Center, Southern First Bank, and Doctors LaCynthia and Terry Baskin. Thank you. Let's give a great big round of applause for all the sponsors. They have not only made this evening possible, they are supporting the work of Prevent Blindness Georgia. All right, we have another video, right, Russell? Let's watch it.
I'm here today because my eyes are gonna get checked and I'm gonna get glasses. It's tough for me to read because I can't see clearly, and when I'm in school it's hard to learn because I can't see.
At Prevent Blindness Georgia, we prevent blindness and preserve sight. Today we're at Chicopee Woods Elementary School. We have an opportunity to expand our services through our children's department, providing eye exams and glasses to the children of Hall County, Georgia.
When I couldn't see, it made me a little bit sad. And then I had to go to a doctor, and they said I had to wear glasses, but I didn't have any glasses.
80% of what a child learns is through their vision. And if they can't see, they aren't learning. And so it's extremely important that we find them at a very young age.
A lot of these children have never been to an eye doctor. And so we've had the opportunity to have at our fingertips some of the best doctors, the top doctors in Georgia, and giving them the best care. It's a godsend for a lot of these families.
I'm so excited to get my glasses. I get my glasses, I can read more. I'm happy because my school is gonna help me see better. I'm excited to finally read. I'm gonna get glasses and I'm gonna see better. I picked out reddish, brownish glasses that look really cute and cool, and I think I look really good in them.
It's nice to know that what you did that day meant so much to that person. And they walked out, you know, with knowing that in a couple weeks their glasses are going to be ready. And, you know, it's life-changing. It's amazing.
And our mission is to prevent blindness and preserve sight, and just open the whole world up to it.
Thank God I'm counting steps. This has got to put me over 10,000. Stand by. Sorry, I'm seated at table 268. Apparently, we had to put one table into Cobb County. Hi, I'm Dave Pauly. I'm a member of the board of directors. I'm apparently the least popular member of the board of directors based on the fact I'm seated in the parking deck. Thanks so much for being here. We are thrilled to have you here. This is, you know, as part of my profession, I attend a lot of galas. This is one of my favorite because it's fun. Can I ask you all, before I start like shamelessly hawking for money, can you all give a round of applause to the staff and volunteers of Prevent Blindness who make this possible? Providing vision care and vision health care is something that I personally am passionate about. And it's why we're here tonight. You know, I am chair of the fundraising committee, so you're going to see me way more than you want to tonight. But one of the things that we really want to do, you know, this is a great evening. It's a great gala. It's a great opportunity to actually have a meaningful impact. I don't know about you all, but it was also really fun to go into my closet and like find real shoes that weren't flip-flops and t-shirt, and yeah, I feel so adult, so civilized. We're going to, you're going to see me a couple of times tonight. Rather than do one big drawn out fund a need, we're going to break it up over the course of the evening. One of the things that we're trying to raise money for is to improve the clinics that we provide out in the field, specifically the work that Chevette and Dee do. One of the things, if you look at the notes that I was given, they said, Dave, pull out the autorefractor and demonstrate the autorefractor. And we didn't bring the autorefractor tonight. So let me tell you what an autorefractor does. An autorefractor looks like a 1970s Polaroid camera. But with an autorefractor, we can take a picture of a child's eyes and just about instantaneously know whether or not that child can see 20/20, and if not, get a good reading on what their probable prescription is going to be, and also what any other conditions that may be present. You know what? I'm an aerospace engineer. I should be better at math. I have no idea how much money we just raised. I'm going to go away for a second because I don't know if you noticed, but Anita's sponsoring the bar and I'm taking her for everything she's worth. I'll be back. Thank you so much. Give everyone who just donated a round of applause.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your donations. So at this time, I would like to introduce you to the CEO and President of Prevent Blindness, Jill S. Thornton. Jill would like to share a few words for us about what's new with Prevent Blindness and about what Prevent Blindness has been doing with your generous support.
It is wonderful this evening to look out at this room and see all of your faces. The view of a crowded room full of caring people all gathering to support the mission of vision is something that for a while we weren't sure we would be able to see again. After more than a year of only gathering through excuse me, of only gathering through virtual connections like Zoom. The joy of the fellowship of being together and seeing one another in person is not something we've taken for granted anymore. Many of us hear similar stories from our patients. They love their sight and appreciate beautiful views, but then they lost some or all of their vision, and they really came to appreciate their eyesight. All too often, we hear people say that they took their vision for granted until something went wrong, and they could no longer see things they once relied on being able to see. Then all too often, we hear them talking about what they can't do, what they have lost as a result of losing their sight. The ability to work and support themselves, the ability to pursue their life's calling, the joy of reading a good book or watching their grandchildren take their first steps. The mission of Prevent Blindness, like the mission of many of you, is to prevent vision loss, to preserve sight. We thank you for sharing our mission, for being here this evening, because you honor vision and share an appreciation of the critical work of our eyes. As I look across this room, I see many of you here this evening who have helped us in the work of our mission. I see many of you who have partnered with us this past year, and many of you who have partnered with us in our work for many, many years. Despite COVID, we've had an incredible year. Because of your support, we've been able to do new things, like go to Hall County, where we vision screened more than 9,000 children in 20 Title I schools. And then, when more than 1,600 of those children failed their vision screening, we worked together to provide eye exams and glasses for those children. And now we continue to work together to expand our circle of care even further, to make sure that the more than 107 Hall County children who have amblyopia, a lazy eye, or strabismus, a wandering eye, or even glaucoma, get the care they needed, even though many of them come from families who don't have driver's license or transportation. We've accomplished some new things and worked together in new ways. Together, we've expanded the ways we've been able to reach out to people, to young people who don't even know they can't see, to families who are having to choose between putting groceries on the table or giving their children's glasses. They need to succeed at school. And to people who work hard for a living and depend on their eyesight, but don't have the insurance or money to pay for the eye care they need. But there's one more we need to do. We need to expand the circle of care even further. We're here this evening not just to celebrate the work of Prevent Blindness, but also to celebrate the work we're able to do together. We're here to honor the critical role that you play in our mission, because without you, we can't pursue our mission. Your support is critical. Part of that we want to do this evening is to tell you a little more about what Prevent Blindness is doing, because we want you to know more about what we've been able to accomplish together. And part of what we want to do tonight is invite you to continue to join us in the journey of ensuring that all people, regardless of their means, have vision. The people of our state need Prevent Blindness to do even more, and it is only with your help that we can do that. We're here tonight to celebrate you but also to invite you to renew and to continue to support of the wonderful work that we do together. Thank you for being here this evening, and thank you for sharing our mission to have a wonderful world in which we can all see. Thank you so much.
My name is Shavette Turner, and I'm the Vice President of Children's Vision Services for Prevent Blindness Georgia. For more than 25 years, I have had the honor and pleasure of working in the nonprofit arena. I've worked with a lot of volunteers. And in nonprofit, you know that the volunteer role is the backbone of the nonprofit. And without volunteers, you're really not going to be successful. Volunteers help keep the bottom line in check. Volunteers make sure that the work gets done. And every once in a while, you come across a volunteer that is just stellar. We have a volunteer at Prevent Blindness Georgia that when we started our Howell County project, made sure that not only did we have the process down, we had our clinics were going to be run smoothly. We had we had equipment, we had doctors, we had the staffing piece, we had everything in place to make sure that these children would not only go through the clinic process smoothly, but that they were going to get glasses and be happy at the end of it. That volunteer is Ann Vines. She is one of my favorite human beings on the face of the planet. To know her is to love her. So we have a few people that I'm told had a few things to say about her, and there's a little video I hear from her colleagues that we'd like to watch right now.
I've had the opportunity to know Ann for over 5 years at this point. Ann's been part of Thomas Eye Group for close to 30 years. She's one of our organization's first orthoptists.
One of the most amazing things about Ann is that she is so multifaceted. So many talents. She's also just such a joy to be around. She comes in happy, ready to make her coworkers smile. She's always making her patients smile, and she lets her, I call it, her soul shine through.
I've been working with Ann Vines for over 20 years. Ann is the type of person who will master skill in any field that she sets her mind to. She's brilliant and she's committed, and I've always had complete confidence in her taking care of my patients.
And your passion for children, particularly those who are visually impaired, is more outstanding than anyone else that I know personally.
I really look to Ann as an innovator and a leader within our organization. The doctors at Thomas Eye Group have come to rely upon Ann, not only for her skill set, but also for her passion for kids, the quality of patient care that she delivers. And ultimately, when Prevent Blindness came to me and asked how Thomas Eye Group could support their initiative in Hall County, I immediately thought of Ann as the perfect person to serve Prevent Blindness and help them build out this program that we saw such success from.
Her drive is what makes Ann so special, and I couldn't be more thrilled that she was recognized as a Volunteer of the Year.
Her ability to problem solve and help her teams collaborate
with such a genuine love of people, genuine love of what she does. Passion is not always present in people's lives, but in Ann's it sure is.
Time and time again, when I'm meeting privately with parents, they tell me how wonderful you are with their children. Children love you. They know that you're passionate and you really care for their children a great deal.
It's been great to see her success in action, to see her heart in action. Ann was one of the champions within our organization to ask for volunteers She brought such an energy and a passion.
You're one of the smartest people that I know, and honestly, I learn from you on a regular basis, so you've enhanced my own expertise.
It's so exciting to see that her passion for kids has developed into what has created not only her career, but her heart for service in the community.
I think there's no one that's more deserving of this honor of Volunteer of the Year for Prevent Blindness Georgia. So congratulations.
I am so proud of you. You deserve every accolade that you received tonight.
Annie, I love you. I have loved the 16 years that I have been working with you, and I hope that we have many, many, many more years to be able to help these patients.
And thank you for all the energy and passion that you brought to Prevent Blindness in 2021.
And if you could join me on stage to accept this award.
Oh my gosh, Shabbat. Do you know how many people lied to get me here? You all are so incredibly kind. I would personally like to thank donor 216 for the auto refractor, because that needed to go. And we could use a second one. It's a phenomenal tool, please. I'm totally overwhelmed at the number of people who lied to get me here tonight. And this footage was not what I thought it was going for, so I'm a little overwhelmed. It has been such a privilege to see this project from the inception to the finish, to realize the overwhelming need that we have in the United States of America for children to receive quality eye care, just something as simple as a pair of glasses so that they can have a good education. And I have marveled at Chevette and her team from the beginning. I have never met an individual who was able to make things happen so seamlessly. And to just be a part of this process in making this happen for the children of Hall County has been so special. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve and look forward to working with you, hopefully on some other magical adventure in the future. So thank you very much.
Me again. I got here much faster this time. I found an Uber next to table 225. First of all, I'm seated way back, but perilously close to the bar. Did you all see this? Beverage sponsor Anita Brown? Can we have a great round of applause?
All right, as Chevette mentioned, volunteers are the lifeblood of this organization. A few volunteers who are especially important are the members of the Board of Directors. I'd like to recognize those members of the board who are here this evening. If you're a member of the Prevent Blindness Georgia Board of Directors, would you please stand? Don't all stand at once. There you go. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to invite up to the stage our Board of Directors Chairman, Scott Bullock with iSouth Partners.
So tonight, I have a distinct honor of recognizing a board member. But before I do that, I do want to share with you that my story of coming into Prevent Blindness started 4 years ago when I was approached to be part of the golf tournament. Dr. Gabbianelli was the honoree. And I didn't know much about Prevent Blindness. I was still trying to figure out a few things at iSouth and Georgia Eye Partners at that time. But when I got in there, it was addicting. And I met Jill, and I met the board members. I met Dave Smith, who was an active board member and the chairman, and I fell in love with the association. It's addictive. For any of you that have been to any of our screenings or been participated in what these talented individuals that work for Prevent Blindness, Dee, Chevette, their teams, it's hard not to get addicted to what we're doing here. And watching everyone contribute, the money that you're donating tonight, I can tell you will do a lot of good. And it really chokes me up just seeing what I know that this team's going to be able to do with your support. So thank you very much, first of all, for doing that. I really do appreciate it. And Dr. Jacobson, thank you for being our honoree tonight. You've been a wonderful, wonderful honoree. I can't wait to hear more about this, but I know a lot of you are in the room tonight because of your relationship, not only with Dr. Jacobson, but a doctor, or you're a patient, and you understand the importance of sight and what it does and how much it affects your life. To be able to change children's lives and get to people early in life before they're early, we can make that difference, means a lot to me. And I'm really happy that you're sharing this tonight so that we can all be part of this. So with that, my job tonight is to recognize one of our leaders, and I am going to bring up a couple notes. So I believe we have a tribute video that we're going to introduce first. So why don't we start with that, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about Dave Smith. But please key that up.
Hey Dave, Gavin Cohen here. Hope all is well, and just wanted to wish you all the best for the future. You have been an amazing leader and board chair and board member. I've known you for about 4 or 5 years now.
Dave is one of the most amazing people ever. He will give of himself so selflessly. If you pick up the phone and call him, within seconds, Dave is making it happen.
And done a great job with leading the team. We always say that when times are tough, that we really see the sign of true leadership. And we had a tough time just before COVID with Prevent Blindness Georgia. And luckily we had you in charge, and you steered the ship really smoothly, calmly.
Dave, thanks to you, we now have 2 permanent clinics at Whiteford and at Medical Associates Plus in Augusta. I cannot believe how you stuck through this, and you helped me to navigate all of this even during COVID.
You've had a great impact on the board as a whole. You've had impact on the board members and on the staff. And I think that has driven us to give more of our time, give more of our energies to the people who are in need. And we really appreciate that. It does take a special skill to lead by example, but also inspire us to do the same.
There just aren't enough words to express how important you are to Prevent Blindness Georgia. There has never been one time that you did not step up for whatever you were asked for.
And we all felt really at ease with you as a leader. So just want to thank you for that. And the children and adults of Atlanta and Georgia, I want to thank you for your leadership in helping them see. We just wish you all the best for the future. And hopefully now you get to play a little bit more golf. And I'd love to play with you sometime as well. Anyway, take care, and good luck in your next venture.
Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for always giving of yourself so selflessly, and for being our biggest cheerleader. I personally am so happy and proud to call you a friend, and can't tell you how important you have been to all of our programs.
So I have been fortunate in my life to be part of a lot of teams with very good leaders. I'm in one now with iSouth Partners. You saw Rex Adams, our CEO. You pick up things and you're inspired by good leaders, and Dave Smith is among these people who inspire you to do more, to be more, to give more. And Dave produces that, or possesses that unique ability level to kind of rally those around you in very difficult times, which we've gone through over the last 2.5 years. He negotiated, all the avenues around COVID, which I can tell you, for nonprofits are just as difficult as for profits. And seeing what we were able to do collectively as a community in eye care around COVID was amazing, and watching what Prevent Blindness was able to do to keep the lights on and keep the mission alive was amazing. He brought new board members in. You saw some of our board members tonight, and I thank each and every one of you for being here and your commitment to prevent blindness. We have an extraordinary list of individuals that give their evenings and weekends and hours that they really don't have much of to this association, and Dave inspired them to be here. He inspired me to be here. Dave increased the patients that were served in Prevent Blindness over his term by 10%, with over 250,000 patients that were served when he was chairman of the board. And he continued to partner up with larger organizations that would also understood our mission and vision and saw the unique ability to partner up to be able to accomplish it together. So with that, it's my pleasure to present the 2021 Chairman's Award to Dave Smith. And we have a little gift for Dave, a gavel, and which I love. This is a great gavel. I want to get myself one, and a holder for the gavel. And on the a gavel, I would love to read it, but I didn't bring my readers up here, so I need to do some work on that. But yeah, thank you. I need a +2s. I keep losing them. But Dave couldn't be with us tonight, and he's down in Florida, but he did want to share a message, and so I think we have Dave's message. We'll tee up.
Thank you so much for those kind remarks. I apologize for not being there in person this evening, but I know the committee has planned a great event. I won't lie, the past 2 years has been a challenge with COVID, but working alongside this amazing staff and board members made the position of chairman a lot easier. I was so lucky to have a lunch about 7 years ago that made a difference for me. Having lunch, or as we say in the South, barbecue with the previous CEO, Bill approached me about joining the board. Once Bill described the programs and services they provided, I was sold. I had just read months before the lunch about the tragic death of Jenny Pomeroy and the void the association had. I said yes on the first ask. You know, in my career, I've learned that volunteerism is a love for good causes. A group of volunteers can make a difference, people helping people. Prevent Blindness is a statewide organization, although sometimes are identified as Atlanta only. We need to be more of a statewide organization. Services and fundraising in all 4 corners of the state should continue to be our goal. Georgians depend on us. Tonight, you can help us make a difference across this great state. I would encourage you to volunteer in any way you can. It could be in donating your time doing screenings in our clinics, getting involved on the board, making introductions and inroads around the state for us, or making Prevent Blindness of Georgia your favorite charity to give to. Everyone in this room has been blessed in some way. Many people are less fortunate than us. With your help, Prevent Blindness of Georgia can be the leader in preserving the gift of sight. Again, thank you so much for your attendance. Congratulations to Dr. Michael Jacobson as the 2021 Person of Vision. I hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for letting me have a few minutes up here, and go Braves. Have a great night.
We're so grateful for the leadership Dave Smith has provided. One way his leadership has been really important is the expansion of Prevent Blindness Georgia's Vision Outreach Program. The Vision Outreach Program provides free vision screening, eye exams, retinal imaging, and prescription glasses for people who are uninsured, people who are living at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. We have another video for you.
My name is Nashanta Jones. I have glaucoma and cataracts, and this was a must need for myself and my family. Being able to see is a quality of life for me.
My name is Nathaniel Howard. So I'm 65 years old. I know I need glasses. I work with a lot. I can hardly see nothing. You give me a piece of paper, I couldn't read it right. I can hardly see it. I can look out a magazine, this little bird. Like I see something on the back of the store, be hard to say, I can't hardly read the label, but what it got in it?
Sometimes the dark time I can see, sometimes it can't read, as I can't drive.
I went to the eye doctor and see for eye people, they said I need glasses. I couldn't afford them.
I was not able to afford a pair of glasses, and my eyeglasses prescription had changed in a year's time.
I come here and in my job, sometimes bother in my boss. I can't see. He told me, my friend, you need a glass.
Great to have Prevent Blindness Georgia here in Atlanta and a part of the network. And they provided it for me free, and I was so appreciative for that.
I have my eyes shut and my glasses in one place. But it was very nice that this church helping people in on me. Some people could not afford it because it Prevent Blindness Georgia to help me to see better. And I'm proud of them for helping me.
I go downstairs, the glasses doctors come in, he see me. He tell me in line, read this one. And then another one, small. I can see again. Okay, use the glass. He give me the glass.
They have the best quality of care with making appointments and just taking care of me, myself, and I. And as I could see, there was other people there that also seemed to be very happy. I love to sew and I love to color. That's why I try to make sure I take care of my eyes. Reading, sewing, those are my pastime things. I just love doing those things.
I can do my work is better before. I read a book and then I look good. I drive and work good.
Once I got the glasses, I able to see real better. I had to see, see where I'm going. Not seeing, it'd be hard for me to do or clamor to do anything.
I want to thank Prevent Blindness for being here for myself and my family, and we do appreciate you guys. Please stay here in the community. Thank you.
Prevent Blindness Georgia.
Thank you, Prevent Blindness Georgia, for helping me get my eyesight.
Me again. Prevent Blindness has been so lucky to benefit from the good leadership of people like Dave Smith, Scott Bullock, Jill Thornton, and the members of the board of directors. We're grateful for the vision they've provided this organization. The work of Prevent Blindness is part of the larger vision community, and the organization partners with some exceptional visionaries who work with other places in the community. So this year, part of why we gather is to honor the vision and professional dedication to eyesight of one individual, one person whose inspired outlook champions healthy vision and its importance for a healthy life for everybody. So each year we select and honor one person who shows exceptional dedication to patient care and to patient-centric practices. And I'll read the list here. This person practices corporate integrity and social responsibility, advances vision health access and equity, removing barriers to vision care, demonstrates distinctive leadership that motivates others to excellence in vision care, and provides volunteerism on behalf of vision care and vision care access, and who champions best practices and medical excellence in the delivery of vision health care. This person, our person of vision, makes Georgia a better, healthier place to live and furthers the Prevent Blindness Georgia mission of preventing blindness and preserving sight. Here to present this year's Person of Vision is Dr. Mark Rivalesi from Georgia Retina. Mark, I hope I didn't say your name wrong. Come on up.
I can't believe she actually pronounced that correctly. That's the way it's supposed to be pronounced.
But let me just say first, I've been to a lot of galas like this before, and I have to commend the crowd. It's pretty incredible at the amount of donations that I've seen, and it just goes to prove, Michael, you really know how to fill a room, my friend. Yeah. So it's an honor to present this award. I think we've got a tribute video to watch first, but I think Michael exemplifies everything that we love about being a physician. He's a perfect example of all of this. So let's watch the video.
Amp Coleman or Amp, everybody know AMP. Everybody know who you talking about. I caddied at Augusta National. I've been caddying there for 43 years. That's how they know me. They don't know me by my real name. I am very fortunate to work at Augusta National Country Club, a remarkable place to work. I started out like picking up balls, and then it took me a minute before I learned how to caddy.
I've been practicing for over 30 years, going on 35 years. I am the founder of a large dermatology skin cancer practice in Atlanta, Georgia.
Once my vision started going away and I couldn't see anything for it, it's like reading the green or seeing the distance from the golf ball, because I found out that I had cataracts in the back of them, and then it kind of deteriorated my eyes real fast. Normally I used to see the golf ball at least 200 yards. It got so I couldn't see it 100 yards. And then it got so I couldn't see it 50 yards. And it wouldn't do me no good to go out there working anymore.
During dinner, I noticed a flash occur that I just didn't know what to make of. There were tremendous amounts of floaters in my right eye. Several attempts were made to stop the retinal bleeding, and it was noted that I was beginning to detach my retina. I was in the peak of my career, and the realization that I may not be able to do what I've done for a long time, which I love doing, it was one of the most humbling situations that I think I've been through. It was an incredibly debilitating feeling, and increased the empathy that I have for somebody going through something and how helpless and vulnerable they might feel.
Dr. Jacobs come into play, and he said he'd help me out and fix it, as best as he can. Not as best as he can. He said he gonna fix it, and he did. Dr. Jacobson checked me out. He came up with a plan how to get me so I was able to get back to work. We're gonna start working on the good eye first, and then we'll start working with the bad eye. But first we want to save your eye so you can be able to see.
Michael performed the vitrectomy, and I'll never forget it. What was amazing was that I got back nearly all of my vision, which was critical for me. And the reason is my occupation and what I do for a living necessitates that my vision be as good as it could possibly be. We do some very detailed work. So for me, at the time, I was facing a potentially career-ending medical emergency that Mike took care of, and took care of with a particular expertise that literally allowed for me to continue my career.
He removed the cataracts from me. After he did the surgery, he looked at it the next day and everything was fine. And then we kind of talked, and I got to the point where I was able to drive. And I thought that was something else, because I know I wasn't going to be able to see anything anymore. Augusta National is a beautiful place, and I'm so happy to be able to see it again.
I probably took my vision for granted until I was facing the possibility of not having my vision.
Thank you, Dr. Jacobson. You helped me out so much. About to bring tears to me, because I thought I wasn't going to ever be able to do anything, and I know I couldn't thank him enough.
It really actually made me appreciate more what I have in my life. I literally can do what I do because of the excellent work Michael has done for me.
So, Michael, would you come on up here? And I'm going to say a few words while Michael comes up. It wouldn't be right if I didn't at least tell a little story here and say some words about Michael. And he won't remember this, but I remember my first conversation with Michael 22 years ago, almost to the date. It was right before the Academy meeting in 1999, I was working in Boston as a fellow, and Jay Duker, who was my preceptor at the time, came to me and said, there's a doctor from Atlanta on the phone who wants to talk to you. I think he wants to meet you at the academy. So I got on the phone, and all I did was say hello, and he just started out. Kirk Packo in Chicago told me you're a stand-up guy, you're great in the operating room, he tells me you're fantastic, and I want to meet you down at the academy. Let's meet on Saturday. Meanwhile, it's Thursday. He says, let's meet on Saturday. And then, without even taking a breath, he says, I want you to bring a journal with all of the cases that you've done, with preoperative, postoperative visions. I want to see what you did in the operating room, and also bring 3 unedited videotapes with you. 1 of you doing retinal detachment surgery, 1 macula hole, and 1 tractional diabetic. And I agreed to meet with him. I got off the phone, I looked at Jay, and I said, what the hell was that? I didn't know what the heck just happened to me. But I met him at the academy, and he may not even remember, but we talked for probably 2 hours. I liked him instantly. And he has truly, in my career in education, there's been a few people that have inspired me to be better at what I do. And there are 1 or 2 that have changed my life for the better. And he is definitely one of those people. I think all the docs from the practice that are here, all of our employees that are here, patients will agree that he possesses a unique combination of skills, brilliance, and quirkiness that make him a very special individual, one-of-a-kind doctor, and very deserving of this. And before I present you with the award, I think one other person wants to say a couple of words.
Good evening, everyone. Although sadly I'm not able to be with you this evening, I would like to share with you some of the memories from Michael's childhood. As a child, Michael was extremely active and refused to nap. Instead, he would stay in his room doing difficult puzzles that were far above his age. Starting kindergarten at age 4 and being a very active child, he couldn't sit still. Once in 2nd grade on Parents' Visiting Day, I found him sitting in his desk next to the teacher, facing the class. And this was due to his inability to sit still. His poor conduct showed up on his report card as a check mark until the 6th grade, when his dad and I promised him a new bedroom set if and when that check mark could be removed. He was always so curious to find answers immediately for any subject that he didn't know. Michael's love of food was always evident from the time he was a toddler. Always interested in trying new flavors and tastes. Our family all thought he was going to be a chef. I'm so proud of all his skills and accomplishment in his profession, his life, his marriage, and his parenting. He's an extremely caring and compassionate individual, both to his family and his patients. Unfortunately, his late father never lived long enough only to see him graduate from med school, and was unable to share in the honors that are being bestowed on him tonight. Congratulations, my son, for making me so proud. I love you.
So Michael, it's a pleasure to present you with this award, and I'm sure that everyone agrees that you are just a special individual and you're very deserving of this, and we love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank Jill Thornton. I'd be remiss. I want to thank Rebecca Davis for all the efforts they put into this evening, Elizabeth Culver, Scott Bullock, a bulldog, and really got me excited about bringing all my friends here. Only half of you showed up, but that's all right. Anyway, when I'm standing up here today, you might think this was an easy road to accomplish what I've accomplished. And I know that's a cliche remark that a lot of speakers say, but that was not my case. And I had very loving parents who believe in me. And from my mother, I inherited a lot of intelligence. And from my dad, I inherited the gift of gab, loquaciousness, so to speak, and a good sense of humor. Or at least I think a good sense of humor. And from both of them, I learned commitment and integrity. And so if you say I was spoiled, it was by inheriting those tools. I grew up in an average, middle-class home. I wanted to be a doctor since I was a little boy. I loved science, and I was gifted at it. And I love the idea of using science to help other people. And for the people that are not doctors in the room here, that's what being a doctor is all about. However, school was a challenging experience for me, as my mother had alluded to. And I was pretty immature, and I was much younger than my peers. And I just needed a lot of attention, I think. And maybe I was a little ADD, I don't know. I have to ask my wife. Anyway, I was told, my mother was actually nicer in her commentary. I was told by the guidance counselor that I was really going to not do well. And they told my parents that I was likely to be a juvenile delinquent by the time I was in high school. And that even though my intelligence had allowed me to do very well, that was going to start to not be the case. And so they wanted me to see some people to help me. Medications didn't exist at the time. And so I just made this transitional decision not to behave the way I was. I wanted to get rid of that check mark that my mother was alluding to. And so I decided to become more of the class comedian and not disruptive at all times in the class, but just at those appropriate moments. And the teachers and I got along and everything worked out. And I was no longer interrupting them in mid-sentence, so that was good. And then I know a lot of people will find this difficult to believe, but I honestly am a shy person. And my father recognized that, and he thought it would be a detriment to me. He didn't tell me that, but he recognized it. And so he had me start working for his company, which was a commercial food service business. And I started working as a simple laborer and met a lot of laborers and learned a lot of people coming from different walks of life, much different than my own. And then ultimately I was a traveling salesman, and I wasn't paid any, I was only on a commission base. I was given some money in advance, but I had to earn against that money. And that really, I think, enabled me to sort of come out of my shell. And so I'm still a very private person, and I enjoy my time alone. In high school, I started to focus on my work and my friendships, and I ended up graduating second in my class, which just shocked most of my classmates because they just thought I was just the average guy or a goof off, and they had no idea. But that propelled me and gave me the opportunity to go to a great college, which I share with young Cho, Dartmouth College. And it was a big learning experience again for me. And it was an experience because half of the kids had gone to private schools and half the kids had gone to public schools. Well, I had a great public school education. I loved public school. I really didn't have any I didn't really have ways to know how to study properly. I didn't have good study habits. And so the first semester at Dartmouth College, I got B's and C's. And that was a very sobering experience for someone who was a salutatorian in their high school. And I realized that I would have to work smarter, if you will, to be successful, but not necessarily harder. And I also realized that I wasn't going to be getting all A's anymore. It wasn't going to be that type of experience. And I got involved with a fraternity. And I should also say that I was told when I arrived at Dartmouth College that I found that half the kids in my class wanted to be physicians. And it turned out that the school made it very clear that they were only going to support 15% of us going in that direction. And so that was very stressful. I thought there was an obstacle for me that how would I be successful, and I was having such difficulty, so it was a very sobering experience. Sort of immersed myself in my fraternity. I was a pledge master, a social chairman, rush chairman, and I almost didn't get into medical school, honestly. I almost did not get into medical school. And my fraternity maternity room where I lived in the house was plastered with all the rejection letters, which was sort of a personal amusement, but just waiting for that letter that somebody's going to say, oh yeah, we want you. And so when I eventually got to medical school, I was at a medical school that really wanted to train family practitioners. And they had no interest, honestly, particularly University of Connecticut, in training people to be specialists. And it was also a medical school where they didn't really have, it was a pass-fail medical school, so you could not distinguish yourself as being special, unique, or working harder. And they didn't even have an ophthalmology department, yet I'm a retinal surgeon. There was no ophthalmology department. And I was talking to a friend of mine and reminding them that we only had 2 days of ophthalmology exposure in my entire medical school curriculum had it not been for me to do a rotation in ophthalmology. And so basically, on top of the hurdle, I learned also that it was not who you knew individually, but it's who your faculty knew. And being that I didn't have any ophthalmologist of significance at University of Connecticut, it was somewhat fortunate that I had done some rotations at Yale University. So in the end, I ended up in just an average residency. And I didn't know really how to evaluate a residency, but I was just grateful to be in ophthalmology. And what I found was my faculty were much more interested in they wanted the laurels of being academicians, but they weren't involved. They didn't really actually come into the clinics and work with us. And so basically, as I've told friends before, my residency was the Abraham Lincoln School of Ophthalmology. And so I basically taught myself with my co-residents, reading textbook after textbook, how to be an ophthalmologist. And so I was very disappointed, but it was something I learned, and it made it also, it was one of the things that you don't know who you don't know, and I didn't really have any good connections, but ultimately, I had my fellowship at the University of Illinois, and it had a very fine reputation, and one of the reasons I chose to go to that institution was one of the inventors of the surgery we do every day, vitreous surgery, Golem Payman, was there. And of course, so it was the usual Michael Jacobson experience. I get to the fellowship, and about 2 months before I start, Golem Payman is at LSU, no longer there. So I had basically all these junior faculty, and honestly, I felt ill-prepared for the next step. And the next step was to go into private practice. I'd looked in academic opportunities, but unless I was going to be at an elite academic institution, I really wasn't interested. And so I got a job up in Minneapolis, and I was a very preeminent retinal surgeon. For the people that are retinal surgeons here in the room, Howard Gilbert was the first fellow of Ron Michaels. And he was a very talented person. But I was actually lacking in terms of I've never told this to anybody, I was sort of lacking in my surgical skills. And I'm just being perfectly honest with you, and I was disappointed in my surgical outcomes. So the first 6 months of my new job, I wasn't doing a very good job. And Howard was a very abrupt individual, and he made it clear that I was underperforming. And he didn't have any concept that, I was still maturing into the surgeon that I needed to mature into. And it was a very humbling experience. And I have to tell you, I think a lot of people said, I moved from Minneapolis mostly because I was away from friends and it was too cold. But the reality was I didn't have the support of my partner, and I had to start to figure out what I was going to do. And so Atlanta, Georgia became my target. And basically, I wasn't thinking of staying here in any permanent way. I was thinking of joining a retina group practice once I had landed here and once I had demonstrated the skills that would make me the type of surgeon. I knew that I could be the best. I knew that I could be that surgeon. I just didn't have anyone who invested in me, and I never had the time to learn properly. So when I was doing my homework, I came here to Atlanta. And it's fantastic. I just never perceived that this was the place that I was going to stay. Like I said, I was with the Clayton Eye Center and Thomas Eye Group. They were great practices. I learned a lot, but I really felt like I needed to leave and create my own type of relationship, either with a retina group practice, move somewhere else. And then I realized the light bulb went off, and that was sort of the seminal light for me, because I realized that Atlanta, Georgia really did not have the number of retinal practitioners that it really needed. And so this is where I start to talk about person of vision. That was my vision, that I recognized that we could do better, and Georgia could have could have a retina group practice, something that really didn't truly exist, a prestigious retina group practice. And that's when I basically first befriended Scott Lampert, and I was looking for actually some space to practice in, and he was gracious enough to have me join him in that, using that space. And we struck it off well, and we were very complimentary to one another in terms of how we took care of patients, and realized that patients are human beings, they're not diseases, and we saw that we could work together. And soon thereafter, we were teammates. And not shortly after that, Jay Stallman came on the scene. And we needed Jay. We were very busy. And then it was basically a domino of excellent doctors. And my philosophy for me, if I'm a person of vision, I needed to hire the best and the brightest. And I wasn't going to accept anything less. And Mark, you still haven't given me that damn video. No, so anyway, that was my philosophy, is that I really wanted to, and to get the best and the brightest. It's the same with my staff. You have to treat people well. It's the culture of the environment that you work in that causes people to want to team together with you. And the same holds true for my partners that are sitting here in the room. Without you, I could never have been successful. And the reality is, treat everybody fairly. And if not, treat them better than fairly. We do very well as doctors, and so there's no reason not to share, and that's always been a philosophy. So for me, in the first 6 months of practice, I had to draw a big loan. I have a wonderful wife. She essentially served as my accountant and my confidant and everything else. Thank you. Thank you, Kirsten. Kirsten, can you stand up, please? This is my wife here. My wife's a brilliant woman. She's a CPA, and she was very helpful. And in the beginning, we lived a very frugal existence. We took out a big loan. We were brave, and we paid our staff well, and we were confident that something good would happen. And so look at this. I'm up here at the front of this room. Something good, very much good has happened. And so that's how I'm sharing with you the secret sauce. I mean, that's how we got to be 17 doctors, soon to be more, and that's how we got located in 12 offices and an ambulatory surgery center. It was by that secret sauce, bringing the best and the brightest, whether it's physicians or staff or even the people that clean our offices. And so that's how I'm up here. And it's sort of like Scott Bullock said, we have the same vision as Prevent Blindness, the exact same vision. We want to help preserve vision. Our practice has been recognized as one that provides lots of charity care, uncompensated care, and so we were very comfortable in that role and will continue in that role. And for me, the legacy is, Georgia Retina celebrated 25 years this year, and if Georgia Retina celebrates its 50th anniversary in 25 years, then I made a difference. And I made a difference for Georgians, and I made a difference for inspiring the next leaders at my practice and other practitioners within the community. So all I can say is thank you so much, everybody.
You all have been an absolutely phenomenal audience. I do a lot of these things as part of my profession. This is actually fun, and it takes more than the staff to make it fun. It takes great people coming to make it fun. So give yourselves a round of applause. And then please keep putting your hands together to welcome Nikki Klaus back up to the stage.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. It has been wonderful to be here personally, and I'm grateful for every one of you coming and for your generosity. On behalf of the tens of thousands of people who will benefit from the programs of Prevent Blindness Georgia this coming year, we thank you so much. Good night.